I can't do it. I don't know you all well enough to do it right now. So maybe next time.
That's gonna that'll be our intro next time.
Yes, just a Tarzan cry.
Yeah.
It pegged it out. So that's our intro. What's up, nation? Hope you're having a fantastic week. My name's Josh.
And I'm Nick.
And this week in PermaTreat, we're going to be talking about the myths of mosquitoes. Or mosquito myths, I guess.
I like myths and mosquitoes.
Yeah, myths. Mosquitoes themselves aren't myths.
Last week we did the bee apocalypse. This week we have the bloodsuckers. So let's talk about bloodsuckers.
Yep.
Ex-wives? Lawyers?
Mosquitoes.
School tuition.
School tuition, man. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to get into it. I was going to talk about, I've got telemarketers calling me every day about school tuition and how they can help me save money on it. I don't have school tuition. So, get a better list.
Wrong list.
Anyways, so let's talk about the mosquito myths. What we've done is we've compiled a couple, about 5 or so? 4 or 5 mosquito myths, or just kind of common misconceptions about mosquitoes. Some of them might be facts, some of them might be false. But we're going to kind of go over them with you and see what you think. You know, are these myths that, you've heard of before? Are they true? Are they not true? And just kind of hopefully debunk these supposed myths.
You know one of the hardest things about mosquitoes?
What's that?
Is spelling it.
Spelling it, I know.
I want to say like mosquitoes.
Yep.
I'm proud of you that you did spell it right this time, because at the home show, we didn't do so well.
No.
We didn't do so well.
I forgot the... No, I think I added an E when there wasn't an S at the end or something.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I got called out hardcore.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Like toes in your foot.
Yeah, it's like potatoes, but mosquitoes.
Potato, mosquito, Moscato.
Moscato. Isn't that a wine?
That's like a drink, isn't it?
Moscato?
Moscato.
Maybe.
Again,
I'm not a...
Hey, you know what I did learn?
What's that?
That while we're doing this podcast and I drank a lot, I have to put this down very ever so gently.
We're getting better, folks. We watched the last podcast. So, you want to get into the first myth?
Yeah, let's talk about myths. What do you have? Let's see. Here's the first myth. All mosquitoes bite humans. Is that true? That was the loudest drink I've ever heard anybody say. Are you a mosquito? Did you just take a blood meal?
I did.
That was the loudest. That was good.
So, all mosquitoes bite humans. All of them, feed on blood. I mean, that's kind of what we've been hearing. I mean,
that's what everybody says. Can't go outside because I'm going to lose blood.
Yeah, mosquitoes are just flying around and attacking us everywhere, and it's not a good thing. So
I'm surprised like the blood bank hasn't hired mosquitoes to go out and drink blood and then bring it back and fill up little bags.
It's kind of like a freelance blood collection.
Yeah.
I don't know how sanitary that would be.
I don't know, kind of gross.
Yeah. So, Nick, do all mosquitoes feed on humans?
Well, according to the CDC, there are over 3,500 species of mosquitoes out there. That's a lot of mosquitoes.
Wow. Yeah.
Go a little deeper, only 200 of those species actually bite humans. So, no, all mosquitoes do not. Here is where we get a little misleading. There is a species that's all over the United States, the Aedes vexans, which is found in every state, as we just talked about, and they do feed on humans. So I think that's where a lot of the misperception comes from, that every mosquito bites, because they're very prevalent in the United States.
Yep. And only the females actually are the ones that feed on a blood meal. All right, so even out of all 3,500, only 200 actually feed on humans, and out of those 200 different groups, only the females are the ones that actually bite you. The reason that they do this is because, they need it for laying eggs. They need it for to help her develop her eggs. The male mosquitoes actually feed on nectar. So I guess when they call the females bloodsuckers, it's not too terribly inaccurate.
No, it kind of follows all levels of species.
That's going to have to be cut out.
Just kind of saying. I'm not cutting that out.
This is staying in.
So all right. So the males feed off of nectar, right?
Yep.
So why do the females bite? You said. Why do they take blood?
The females bite. They use the protein in the blood to help develop the eggs. Okay, so during the mating process and everything, that's what actually helps feed the eggs, and they can lay up to 200 eggs at a time.
So let's go. Let's dive a little deeper into that myth. So since they don't, not all the mosquitoes feed off of blood. So where do the males get the nectar?
From different plants. They help pollinate. Actually, tying back to our last episode.
The enemies of the zombie bees.
I think they fight the zombie bees over the nectar, and it's kind of like, because there's so many more mosquitoes than there are bees out there, and zombie bees especially. It's kind of like the movie 300. The bees are the Spartans, and the mosquitoes are the what's it, the Persians?
Please do it. Please say it. Scream it.
What's it?
This is Sparta.
No, I guess it'd be, this is nectar. Would that be whatever? Is that how it goes?
That's how it goes.
Nice.
That's how it goes. So, with that in mind, since the mosquitoes are feeding off the nectar of the plants, they actually roost on the underside of leaves.
Yep.
Every time they do that, I hear the Mission Impossible song.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry. So the females are feeding on the blood. They're the ones actually biting us, and the males are the ones helping pollinate and feeding on nectar. Now, do females only feed on blood?
No, they do not. They also feed off the nectar. They only use the blood meal to reproduce.
Okay.
So, if they're feeding on you, they better have some more babies.
They just got done getting busy.
Yeah.
And they're trying to feed their babies by feeding on you. Happy thoughts. All right. So that first myth, busted.
Debunked.
All right.
I like that word,
yep.
debunked. And do we remember what kind of mosquito that was again? The 80s vexin.
80s, as in like big hair and
no, not
like punk rock 80s?
No, not like Madonna living on a,
No?
none of that. No, it's not a Madonna. It's not Prince. So let's talk about myth number 2. Since now we know it's only the females that actually feed on us to reproduce, do they die after feeding on us?
Do females die after feeding on us? I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
I guess I probably should know. I do know.
Yeah,
we wrote this.
Yeah.
So.
Is that a hypothetical again?
Yeah. This is a rhetorical.
It's rhetorical.
No, instead of dying, she actually does the opposite. Post-bite, she goes off to lay her eggs, kind of like what we just talked about, ultimately birthing even more blood-sucking devils for us to avoid.
Is it bad that I thought of my kids when you just said this, like birthing
more
blood-sucking devils? Love you, boys.
Hey,
Daddy loves you.
I know we're watching this together, but still, it's how we think.
It's how we feel.
No, we love our kids, and obviously it wouldn't really work for them to die directly after feeding, because then, like you said, you couldn't lay the eggs and feed the eggs and everything else.
Yeah, it's completely. This is a myth that is so easy to squash, because she needs to feed to reproduce. So how could she die if she's going to reproduce? So exactly. Obviously, there's no way that the mosquito female dies after feeding, unless you're a really, really quick reflex person and smash them before she can get away. Then then she dies.
Yeah,
I guess she dies.
Yeah. Ooh, we should have done one kind of side note. I just kind of thought of this now. I've heard, like, if they're feeding on you and you clench your muscles, like right there where they're feeding on you, they'll either explode or they'll get stuck in there.
Yeah, I read that myth too, and that is exactly what that is. A myth.
Myth? Nope.
No, not
so the easiest thing to do, you see them, smush them.
Yeah.
Clean off with like alcohol swab. Not a wab.
A wab.
So females, unfortunately, do not die after feeding on humans. So, was it myth?
Number 3.
Oh, you weren't going to say it?
Debunked.
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 Is it my turn?
Your turn.
My turn. So, myth number 3. Mosquitoes prefer female hosts to male hosts. They prefer the female blood. The bears can smell the menstruation. That's all I thought about. Do mosquitoes prefer males or females to feed on?
This is the one myth that I really became depressed on as I read more about this.
Yeah, me too.
Because, no, it's not true. The fact of the matter is, they prefer bigger people. So, you and I in this room, you're safe. You're
the
good.
more gravitated towards
yeah, you're good.
So, it has nothing to do with the sex of the person.
Nothing at all.
Or the gender. It has everything to do with the size. Now, so I guess the main reason, like you said, size matters versus the gender. And so,
correct.
Typically, and this isn't, I guess it is stereotypical, but there's nothing ill will or anything against it, but men are typically bigger than female, all right, in terms of stature and everything else. So that's where mosquitoes, they're attracted to high levels of heat and the CO2 that you're breathing out, the carbon dioxide. And you put off more heat than I do. And, you put off more heat, or I put off more heat than, my wife does. And so they're typically going to go towards the larger host. One, there's more surface area for them to physically feed on. But also, it's just, you put off more heat. You're more attractive
I can
to them.
feel
You're more attractive to them.
Through this whole Myth 3 segment right now, my ego going like... It's okay.
I'm kind of fine with that.
I know you are. Yeah, you safe mosquito son of a...
So it's nothing about your blood type.
What you eat has nothing to do with that.
What you're wearing.
Skin color.
Skin color has
if it's
nothing
light
to do
or dark.
With it. Very, very fair-skinned people. Irish, unfortunately. My wife has very, very fair skin. Okay, and anytime that she gets bit by a mosquito, not only does it cause like a little bump, but it kind of swells up a little bit. It doesn't bother me really. I'll have a bump for like 5 minutes and it goes away. But fair-skinned people, it tends to show more, and so they think that they're getting bit more. But kind of just like bed bugs, everybody's getting bit.
Right.
It's just whether or not how much you react to it.
Yeah, everybody reacts different to it.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a larger surface, so I react a lot more.
Yeah. Everybody likes it differently, kind of like Borat. Some people like him. Some people hate him.
How come every time I think of Borat, I think of that one bikini he wears all the time?
Oh, the one that goes up all the way?
Yeah, the banana hammock.
That's what I'm wearing on Friday on the boat. I forgot to...
yeah.
I was going to keep it a surprise, but now everybody's going to know.
So, we have now debunked...
Was that quieter? The sip?
That was a quieter. It didn't sound as ferocious as your last one.
Ferocious.
So let's talk about the citronella plants and candles. I don't know if you guys have, you go in my backyard and I have citronella plants like in every corner of my back deck. I have those tiki torches everywhere. Nice. I have citronella candles in the middle. I'm a big surface apparently now. That's why it's not working. So I always wondered, why am I still having mosquitoes fly around? And I'm taking all the natural precautions and the candles. Does it work or not? So what'd you find out?
What we found out is, unfortunately, or fortunately, you can start saving some money. In fact, it doesn't really have that big of an effect on the mosquito population around your yard. It's the high winds make it less effective. With the candles, as it's going up, if there's any kind of breeze, it's blowing the smell, the smoke, and everything else over to the side versus around where you want it locally, to keep them away from you. Plants will not repel. However, they can actually give them more areas to harbor. So even though it's a citronella plant, you're actually giving them just more conducive conditions in places to live more than you are pushing them away. You're actually inviting them rather than repelling them.
Now, we did learn in small areas, it can have some effect.
Sure.
If there's no wind.
Yeah.
What we've learned is the larger your yard is, okay, the more wind that there is, it's carrying away any kind of scent. And it's not really the scent that's affecting them when you look at that. It's the smoke that comes off those tiki torches that actually deters them. But when the wind takes that smoke away, there's nothing stopping them from coming around you.
So when we burn our Citronella plants,
that is the key. Doesn't mean you go out there and start burning every
light the backyard on
They're
fire.
gone. But what they're saying is, if you smash, grind, take those leaves and rub it, that's where the natural plant oils are coming off. Because that's what it is. It's the plant oils. You know, pesticide is the oldest form of control because it basically comes from the botanicals, comes from the plant oils. Citronella. What's the matter?
I want to put the glasses on.
I know.
I'm super scientific.
I was like, any kind of oil. You got me all sidetracked.
Sorry.
Here. Any kind of natural plant oil. So we've just bottled that, put our synthetic twist on it in all these makers, and here we have products that cure or control or eliminate pests. So the Citronella plants, once you excrete the oils from them, then that's how it becomes effective of controlling any kind of mosquito.
So it's better. It's better actually for the environment and for keeping the mosquitoes away to apply some kind of lotion or wear heavier clothing, something like that, rather than burning the candle or burning the Citronella, like tiki torches and things like that.
Right. There are products. Everybody knows about all the and we're not going to plug any of the products, but there's a lot of products out there that you can apply on you, which are basically just plant oils in essence, that when they land on them, they come around you. They don't want to land on them because it's the plant oils. So those are products that you can use great. I personally went home and made a Citronella leaf tank top. I will take pictures. I want to see how well it works.
Proof or it didn't happen.
Pictures or it didn't happen. I had a cut on me in an area we won't talk about. It burnt a little bit. So I got to work on that a little bit.
So, nice. I'm just imagining you in a big leaf tank top.
I kind of wanted to look like Tarzan.
Needed a lot of plants. A lot.
We ran out of Citronella plants. Lowe's had to get a new shipment in.
That's funny. How did you connect them together? Did you sew them or you got to glue them or what?
We won't talk about that. I don't want to relive that moment.
It was all natural. You used actually body hair to help leave the leaves on. Now all I can think of you is you covered in leaves and little pieces.
That is Vixen's antagonist, Citronella Man.
Citronella Man. Just covered in Citronella leaves all over. I love it. Helps everybody around you. Nice. Well, that's pretty much it for the myths. Let's wrap up real quick with the main four. We talked about all mosquitoes biting humans and feeding on blood. That one was debunked.
Debunked.
The second one, all females die, or female mosquitoes die after feeding on us.
Debunked.
Debunked. I'm going to put it like a big old stamp like, debunked. Myth number 3, the mosquitoes prefer female hosts rather than males.
Debunked.
Debunked. They prefer bigger because they provide more surface area and more CO2 and heat. And finally, Citronella plants and candles will protect you.
D?
Yeah, middle.
Yeah.
The plants, the oils and everything, if you spread them on you or if you make a tank top out of the plants, yes, it'll help. But the candles themselves, unless it's in an enclosed area where there's no wind or everything, then it's not really going to do that much for you. A campfire, more than a candle would help because of the smoke and everything, correct?
I'll be honest with you. All I'm thinking about is coming up with my Tarzan cry.
Yes. Let me hear your best Tarzan cry right now.
I don't have a Tarzan cry. What's yours? Let me hear your Tarzan cry.
I hope to God there's people out there right now.
I'm sorry.
So, 4 out of 4 debunked. Well, 3 out of 4 debunked, 1 half and half.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the Citronella one because it's pretty. It smells good.
Sure.
It makes a great shirt.
I completely agree. So, that's pretty much it for today's episode. We covered all the main myths, actually 4. There's probably a lot more out there. But you can follow us on the YouTube channel, TWIP. That's This Week in PermaTreat. We're on Facebook at PermaTreat, on Twitter at PermaTreat. You can go to permatreat.com. But we also look forward to, hearing what you all have to say.
Yeah.
Any comments, suggestions for future topics, or if you have any questions or anything like that, we're always reading your comments. We'll also try and post this on the Pest Cemetery.
Got that one right this time.
Facebook group. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Next week should be bed bugs. We'll be continuing the whole bloodsucker, bedbug, mosquito theme for the next couple weeks. So next week, don't miss that one. It's going to be extra exciting.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Excellent.
Want to do keep on twipping on 3?
Yeah, let's do keep on twipping on 3.
Right. Oh, we can't really count it because that'd be lame. How about just 1, 2, 3?
Keep on twipping.